Hey, and welcome to another video on the channel. Today we're going to go through my HX Stomp powered pedal board. So the first thing we're going to look at is how I have the Stomp setup itself. So we're going to cut to a close-up of this so you can actually see it better. So I'm using the US Deluxe normal amp model on the HX Stomp. And actually the 412 high watt cab, just kind of my own preference for that. On the Stomp, I also have an effects loop running and the spring reverb. Then my effects that are off that I also use are the gray flanger, the transistor tape, and the dual pitch, though I don't use the dual pitch very often. That's kind of only when I want to get crazy. So looking back at the rest of the board, the only other thing that's on this whole time is my Diamond Compressor Junior. So that's just kind of just to clean up my guitar playing around the edges, make things nice and consistent. So first I'll let you hear it with the compressor off. Just nice subtle compression there, not doing anything too fancy, but that's kind of my only always on pedal. Next in my chain, go up from the Diamond Comp Junior to the Walrus Audio Julia. I don't know why I have it second in the chain, that's just kind of where I like it. So here's just that clean, and now here's the Julia. So I kind of have that just as my basic course sound, though when I'm recording or whatever, I will switch to that vibrato setting and kind of do a little more crazier stuff. But when I'm playing live, it's mainly just that classic course sound. Going from the Julia, we go down to the Paul Cochrane Timmy. And this is kind of just my transparent drive sound. So just adding a little bit of grit there. Doesn't really change my clean tone too much, and I don't want it to. And again, that's just kind of something I use if I want to change the tone a little bit, kind of for a chorus of a song or something like that, but still want to keep my guitar relatively clean. Beside that is my Effects Klone V2. My favorite Klone pedal I played for sure. I love the gain range of this. If anyone watches Josh Scott, JHS, he talks about how he uses a clone kind of more as a distortion. I don't get that crazy, but I definitely don't use it clean, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Stack that with the Timmy just for a little extra drive. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Next, it goes up top here to the Earthquaker device of Westwood. Just a great drive. Longest tenured drive pedal on my board. This is just a purple version. I know most of them are green, so don't let that confuse you. Same thing. I just kind of use it not too gritty. And again, it's kind of boosting that arc most of the time. If I want to do a solo that isn't too distorted, I'll go that way. But yeah, it's just kind of another texture that I like to add on. So I mostly use it with that claw. Those two are kind of attached at the hip. If I want to just have a little more of that. I really like that pairing of those two pedals together. Then we go next down to the Smallsound Bigsound Mini. This is just kind of, if I really want to get dirty, which doesn't happen too often with the stuff I play. But it's just kind of there. This is kind of my fun slot in terms of drive, fuzz, distortion. Kind of mix and match these next two slots here, just kind of with whatever. Those three before are kind of my staples. So here's what the Mini sounds like where I have it set up. Yeah, just kind of fuzzy overdrive. I don't like anything too crazy, so that's about as crazy as it gets for me. Last in line here, we have the Union Tube and Transistor More. Just as the name implies, I just use it to give me more of kind of anything. So at the bottom, I just turn it all the way down, and it's got 5 dBs there. That's really all I use that for. I will use it if I'm recording sometimes, just to get a clean sound that I like, a little more boost to it. So it can kind of do that preampy thing, but again, it doesn't really color your tone too much. From there, we go into the HX Stomp, and inside the HX Stomp before my effects loop, we have the pitch. Again, this pitch isn't that great, but it's just something I use mainly with the drive every once in a while. Just again, just a different texture. From there it goes into the gray flanger up top. And again, it's kind of... Again, I don't use it too much, just kind of something else to play with. And lastly is my transistor tape, which is just kind of, I use it just to kind of add texture. kind of for things like that. So it's something I'll put on if I'm doing a lead or something like that, just to add a little bit of texture. So going from that, we go into the effects loop, which is the Blue Sky and the Brigadier. I put the Blue Sky first just because that's the way I like it. So my main tone with the Blue Sky is my favorite, which is kind of like a modded room delay. And I use this on a bunch of stuff. It's just kind of my go-to sound with the Blue Sky. I also have it set up to do kind of a plate mod as well. But really, I don't use that too much. Then it goes to the Brig, and I kind of just use that for more traditional delay, dotted eighth kind of things. But really, I don't use delay very much. I'll use that transistor tape a lot, but in terms of like traditional delay, I don't use it too often. So that's pretty much gets me to the end. The LED that's flashing there is just what I used for tuning. And I just use the strobe tuner. Works well enough for me, low stress. Then I also just have my Walrus audio pick box there just to keep my picks. This thing's all powered by Strymon Zuma, and that's about it. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and thanks for checking it out. Hopefully see you next time.